In the top left corner, the red Zerg, Dwonker. And in the bottom right corner, the blue Terran, Barcode. So we have a new feature in this channel, this Barcode Terran. This is a ladder game between him and Dwonker. This Barcode Terran is in Master 3, rank 8. So he's in the top 8 of his division. He's got the star next to his name. So pretty high level player here. Dwonker should in fact be the underdog. We've seen Dwonker before against Vec on this channel. And a banger ZVP. There's a lot of tech changes. Dwonker found himself ahead. Showing that he can mix up his styles. And not just play Roach Ravager. Although that is his specialty. And as for the blue Terran, well, we don't really know what to expect. But we're expecting some pretty solid play. Because this guy, you know, he's Master League. And although he's in the 3rd tier of Master League, he is top 8 in his division. I mean, that's still pretty impressive in this day and age. The players who still play Starcraft 2 are the diehards with a passion for the game. You see the blue Terran, he's sending out an SUV across the map. Obviously, doing some good scouting, being responsible. Workers are dead even, as it should be this early with these standard builds. And we'll see what the SCV's goals are. Just looking to scout the hatch timing. Knows it's not a 12 pool now. So basically just wanted to make sure he wasn't getting 12 pooled. And then from there, the SCV is blocking this possible 3rd base location. Reaper on the way for the blue Terran. We'll see how Dwonker stands up against this Master Tier Micro. The Reaper. The grenade hits. The drone's getting wounded. Makes a spore. That's alright. Makes an extractor. I mean, the Reaper has caused some indirect damage. Loss of mining time for Dwonker. But he didn't lose a drone. So not bad so far. The Queen comes out. Eschews the Reaper away. But right now, we're 250 into this game, and no 3rd base has been taken because the Reaper is effectively harassing this location. And you know what? The drone, not even knowing the SCV was blocking, saw the Reaper in that direction. And went to plant southwards the 3rd base, so I feel like maybe the Reaper should have gone south. And then the SCV could have blocked, for at least for a little bit, the top right location. But neither here nor there. The Reaper has been successful in forcing a couple of spores. Well, 1 spore, an extractor, and a late hatchery. The creep tumors are still looking good for Dwonker. None was killed. Inject going down. And we see here the CC has been landed for our Terran player. We have a reactor, a starport, and a quick 3rd CC. Seems very popular amongst these Terrans nowadays on the ladder to get that quick 3rd CC against the Zerg. The Lings now kill that SCV. And I think that was a tad sloppy from the blue Terran. He should have pulled that thing back. Poor SCV just wanted to live, just wanted to do his job. Was denied. Link speed has kicked in, so that SCV was in no man's land. We see on the horizon here, Overlord speed. Roach Warren for Dwonker. Kind of his standard play. Always gets that Roach Warren. Obviously, Overlord speed. He'll most likely be looking to send this Overlord in for a scout. Meanwhile, Nick Vec, he's getting stim. Muling up his expansion. Tech Lab going down on this factory. I imagine he will start tank production. Meanwhile, the Hellions going across the map. He's going to try to put some pressure on Dwonker. And I'm not sure what Dwonker's doing with this Overlord. He has Overlord speed, but he doesn't have a scout off yet. Or at least, not from what I've seen. Hellions coming in. They find nothing in this location. There's just a Spore Crawler. And now they walk into the Roaches. But up north, there's a Liberator. It's a double-pronged harass. Some larva being taken down, but the drones have been pulled to the left. And these Queens were also in position. So I feel like Dwonker anticipated some kind of double-pronged assault. He might have spotted that Liberator coming in and guessed the Hellions would dive into that third base. So great anticipation from Dwonker. Those Queens were in position to punish the Liberator, but I mean, even so, the Liberator was still killing a bunch of larvae and stuff, so. And maybe got a drone. So not horrible for the Terran player. And now we see this quick third CC being landed. Well, I suppose by the time it's landed, it's pretty standard timing. But now a bunker is going down to help protect this third CC. And Dwonker figures, hey, I made a bunch of Roaches to protect against your Hellions. I killed a bunch of Hellions. Why not put some pressure on? And he's coming in. SCV gets taken out by the Lings, and he's going to town on these supply depots. 2 depots go down. Third goes down. Gets the cancel on the third, but no cancel on the other 2. Meanwhile, the tank, the Splash Fire, hit a bunch of SCVs as well. But Dwonker does not want to commit into that mineral line. That tank is in the perfect location to punish those Roaches. So Dwonker is pulling back now. He got a little bit of damage done. And 11 drones just popped out for Dwonker. 1-1 on the way for the Zerg player. Roach speed. And it's 67 drones, or 70 drones to 53 SCVs. So it's looking good for Dwonker's economy. Although, I have to say, this third base location coming down at 650... it's pretty late for Dwonker, so this probably indicates he is looking to push for that Roach Ravager timing. At possibly the 8-minute 30 mark. We'll see how well Dwonker can execute this build. He's going to town on the rocks here. Trying to take those down. He doesn't want a siege tank putting itself right here. Because that would just be terrible for the Zerg player to try to dislodge behind that rock. So he wants more open space, does the Zerg player. And meanwhile, the Terran player, well, his economy's not looking bad either. 60 SCVs, he's got mules. He's gearing up here. He's expanding his centers of production. He's on 5 racks now. Tanks are popping out. Upgrades have been made. He has 1-1. Another CC coming down here, so he's really choking off this location. So a 4 CC on the way for the Terran. And the Zerg's 4th base is just getting up and running now. So it seems like Dwonker has some work to do here. 2-2 hasn't even been started. That's a little bit late for Dwonker. I'm not sure if he forgot about it. He's got the money. He puts a Spired and Infestation Pit down. He also puts a Sunken and a Spore in his main. He might be worried about some drop play. He knows this is going into the long game. So he's preparing accordingly. This Marine squad over here with the Medvac. Likely just trying to kill some creep. Dwonker's pushing that creep spread onto the map. Some tumors going down here. Scanning to clean up the tumors. The Roaches punish a Marine. Queen is looking to replant that creep tumor. And the Terran has a pretty well insulated position here. I mean, if the Roach Ravager attacks into this, it might be trouble because, I mean, how do you breach this position? There's so many narrow chokes with this Sim City. But hey, Dwonker just want to take these free supply depots. He figures, hey, I might not be able to push in, but I can get these depots. And he just killed off a bunch of depots. The Terran is at 124 depot supply now. He's really capped hard. And meanwhile, Spire coming down, like said before, with 2-2, and the Roaches are diving in. He's biling down where all that tank and bio are, and he landed. And this tank in the back is firing. Some SCVs get pulled, and this bio is just standing in the biles. So not great. He's just on pure Ravager now. He should leave. Stim Marines can chase this down, and these things are not tanky. Oh no. The Marines take down 2 more Ravagers, and that was costly for Dwonker. Those Ravagers are not cheap on gas. And meanwhile, oh, there was actually a bit of a drop going down over here. And Dwonker's economy has been dropped back down to 63 drones. So it seems like there was also some counter-harass going down for the Blue Terran. And those are the kind of master tier plays that show that next level. While the battle was going down the front, there was a drop attacking Dwonker's worker line. And now Dwonker, hey, he's almost maxed out. And he figures, I need to make something happen here. My economy is likely behind the Terran. That 5th base is only being taken now. A stray tank caught out in the middle of nowhere. Not sure why. Dwonker's coming down to the south. The planetary is not been finished yet. And he just takes this thing out very easily. The army for the Terran player is out of position. And now the Terran player is coming down this ramp. This is a bit awkward for Dwonker, because now Dwonker's coming down the ramp into these siege tanks. But hey, some Biles take down a tank. And I think this is kind of working out for Dwonker. He's got a couple Ravagers left. He's throwing Biles in the middle of 2 tanks, so they're getting double damage. And he does take out the tank. Pulling back. I think he might have kept going. Those 2 tanks were unsieged, and there might have been a couple of other units there, but not much. That medvac was almost killed off by the Corruptor until Dwonker pulled back. So maybe a bit of a premature pullback, but I understand he's the kind of player who doesn't want to overextend. Something about his past play that he's trying to correct going forward. And hey, he dislodged this Terran base. So the Terran is on a 3-base economy now. So the Terran is desperate to land a counter shot. And Dwonker doesn't have the greatest economy. For 11 minutes in the game, he only has 71 drones. So if he loses another base, it could spell trouble for our red Zerg player. Marines now going up. This is such a strong position with these tanks back here. Cannot be penetrated, I don't think. And the Roach Ravager, again, a little bit out of position. But now that he's lost this base, doesn't even make sense to go in. Well, not enough Ravagers to ball down that tank. And then Dwonker walked into that other siege tank line. He had no vision on that, over that ramp. So that was a little bit ill-advised. And now Dwonker, he's turning those red, bruised-up Roaches into Ravagers. Another critical part of his game plan to try and be cost-efficient as possible. Instead, Dwonker now taking that 12 o'clock base. And hey, catches the Terran on the map. Oh, didn't have enough force there to actually make something happen. But now, here come the rest of the Roaches. They're coming down from the other side. And that didn't work because Dwonker did not have much vision over those shrubs. And probably not enough numbers overall. And Dwonker really has his back to the wall. The Terran is closing the supply gap. And like all of the analysts say in SC2, there's an expiry date on this Roach Ravager. Eventually, when the upgrades are even and the supplies are even, the Terran player who goes bio-tank should be able to win. But Dwonker here coming down from the south with a huge force, and he just caught the Terran player out on the map. Corrosive Biles take out medvacs even. And the Terran player just got decimated as I said that. Dwonker showing how he's a beast on the battlefield, living up to that nickname I gave him against Nikvek. But he's still down in workers. He's down 10 workers to the Terran player. Terran player is retaking his 4th planetary fortress as well. So just when the supplies were even, a double-pronged assault got Dwonker maybe back into this game. Although he's got some work to do on the economy front. He's coming back up to 80 drones now. That's a start. More Ravagers morphing. And Dwonker's done a good job of trying to get 2 flanks when possible. Just when I say that, he goes up this tight choke here. I don't know. And the Marines mostly dodged that bile. I think only 1 Marine went down. A couple tank shots also landed for the Terran player. And maybe Dwonker could even take another hatchery. He seems to have the Terran player boxed in. He sees a tank just kind of wandering out. It's the second tank that's been caught out in no man's land this game. Dwonker finishes it off. And hey, he's going to take these supply depots again. Supply depot's going down. I don't know if he wants to dive in again like last time. Caustic Spray going down the command center. Biles hit the bio again. And I think Dwonker is just trying to fight it long enough for this Caustic Spray to kill the command center, but his force is being whittled down at too quick of a rate. He turns back, and that was not good for Dwonker. Throws the bile down to cover his retreat path. And that force is definitely battered and bruised. And the Terran player has this extra command center that's floating down to the 6 o'clock location. And it looks like Dwonker is falling in the base count. Because when it's 6-6, it's not great for the Zerg player. The Zerg should be at 7 if the Terran player is at 6. At least 7. But he's still going onto the map. He needs to move these idle drones. He has 3-3. Now he's going into melee upgrades. So he's really committed with this Roach Ravager play. No tech deviation for Dwonker. We saw him vary up his tech with Ultralisks, Broodlords, Banelings against Nickvec. Maybe something like this is warranted because the Terran player has shown his SimCity is very strong. And look at this. Dwonker barges in again. But he doesn't get that command center. That command center has 9 lives. And even though some nice Biles land, Dwonker was taking damage from this tank on the high ground. It's a sergeant with 10 kills. But getting value all game for Barcode. And once again, this command center is still alive, so Dwonker has not been able to dislodge it. And here we're starting to see orbitals or planetaries en masse as a defensive wall. And as long as the Terran can keep pushing out and making planetaries, it's going to be rough for Dwonker to break him. I mean, if he hasn't broken the Terran player yet with such a supply advantage, what makes Dwonker think he can do it now? It's just the constant aggression. He's got to watch out not to walk into his own biles. And again, this is not good for Dwonker. Some of his forces were fighting that command center while this army came down the ramp. And Dwonker just got wrecked in that fight, battered and bruised. Once more. And we're seeing here why the experts say that Roach Ravager loses value with time. But that wasn't just a unit composition factor. That was a factor of Dwonker's AI on those roaches shooting down Terran structures. When the army of the Terran came down the ramp, and not all of the roaches were fighting that at the same time. Now the Terran player, maybe anticipating how aggressive Dwonker's been, he's sieging up behind this shrub. So if Dwonker wanders down this pathway here, he can get taken out. Oh no, the Terran army on siege and Dwonker's jumping on them. Vials are going down and all the tanks are clumped up and there's so many Ravagers on the field. Look at all those Vials landing, and the Ghosts actually don't trade that well against pure Roach Ravager. There's no Ultras to take advantage of. And Dwonker just wrecked that Terran army. Once again, every time when I think his back is to the wall, he pulls out some crazy fight where he gets back in it. Caustic Spray going down on the command center. Biles are taking out the command center and SCVs. And the army here cannot help the planetary in this fight. So that's very rough. A pretty dirty engagement is going down. Well, what about that? Look over here. The Terran player is backed up, battered, and bruised. Zerg player is coming in now. He's looking for another planetary. And there's just not enough army from Barcode. I think this battering ram style is starting to break through. GG has been called. And Dwonker has won. He just kept committing to the Roach Ravager. He's taking this base. Gases haven't even been taken here. The Terran did take the gold base. But Dwonker broke through everything. Look at the supplies. 191 to 79. So great job from Dwonker in that game. GG.